or just the
Read
just
log buffer
DBC
and
and
data.
read log buffer and database buffer cache, right?
Yep.
So any
Yes.
question in this too?
No.
No. Okay. The next is your shared pool.
Yes.
Now next is your shared pool. Let me draw here. Now suppose this is your shared pool. In the shared pool there are two main components. One is called your library cache and one is called your data dictionary cache. One is called your library cache and other one is called dictionary cache. And together we say as a like a shared pool. So what is the use of library cache and dictionary cache? Library cache will hold the information about your how a SQL statement will execute. Suppose a user gave a query select star from MP where ename equal to Smith or where department number equal to 10. So this query can execute in multiple ways. There will be multiple paths to execute this query. First where clause will run, then select. Let's say you have join, so first join will be performed, then select statement will run. So there are different paths. So this path is defined by optimizer. Like what will be the minimum cost for a query to run this query? Like minimum cost means what will be the minimum load on the server if you run this query. So this is defined by the optimizer. So whenever we run, suppose let me write a query here. Let's say I have here select star from EMP where EMP number equal to, let's say I'm saying 100. I gave a query like this, like staff from MP where employee number equal to 100. So how this query runs in the background? What is the first step here? First step is here, first it will check for the syntax check.
Okay, yeah.
Whether syntax is correct or not. So first kind of check is your syntax check whether this query is correct or not, the syntax wise correct or not. Second is your semantic check. Semantic
What
check.
is meant by semantic check?
That's the semantic check. What is semantic check means? The user who's running the query, whether do he have the permission on that particular object or not. What is object here? EMP table. I'm accessing the EMP table. So whether this user having access to this EMP table or not. This kind of check is called your semantic check. Okay. So once this check is passed, syntax and semantic check and syntax and semantic check is passed, then it will be passed. Parsing info, it will be execution fetch. The next step is your fetch. First step is parsing. In parsing there are two, syntax and semantic check. Then fetch. What is fetch? It will fetch the actual data from the disk. Yeah, from the employees table. And then execution. Execution. So these are the three steps. Actually, this 1 and 2 come in one. Or we can make it as A and B. This first step is called your parsing. So in the interview, they may ask you how a query execute in the environment. So you can say, let's say you are running a query like this. So there will be three stages. Will be there. First stage will be the parsing. In parsing, there will be two, syntax check and semantic check. Then the fetch, it will fetch the data, and finally it will execute it. So when we come to the execution here, so Oracle choose the optimal way to run the query. Optimal way to run the query. What is optimal way to run this query? There will be some optimizer that will decide what will be the cost of this query. There are different optimizers. They will decide what will be the cost. That means burden on the server. What will be the cost of the query? So when we check, so it should be the minimum cost. So what it does here, so it will create an execution plan. Now, what is the execution plan? Who decides this execution plan? Our optimizer. So, what is the execution plan? Because there may be multiple ways to run that query. So, what will be the optimal way? What will be the minimum cost so that we can run that query? That is called your execution plan. So, Oracle decide all these things in this your shared pool area. So, right here is your shared pool. All this information will be stored in your library cache. Suppose I ran a query, okay, select staff from MP where employee number equal to 100. So Oracle will perform this parsing, then semantic check the fetch and execution. It will create the execution plan and it will store in the library cache. So what is the use of this? So next time when other users run the same query, select staff from MP where employee number equal to 100, Oracle will come here, it will check in the shared pool whether this execution plan is there in this pool or not. If it is there, then Oracle don't need to perform the other steps. It will directly get the execution plan and it will run the query. Otherwise, you need to create again. You need to perform all the checks. It will fetch the all data. Fetch again. It will check. Fetching. It will check in the buffer cache it is there or not. If it is there, then it's fine. Otherwise, again it will copy the data block from the database buffer from the data file to the database buffer cache. But for execution plan, it doesn't need to create because it's already there in the library cache. So this is the use of a shared pool. It will contain our execution plan, our how to run parsing information, and the execution plan it will store here. Following?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So this is the use of a library cache. Now suppose I gave this query and I found the execution plan in the library cache. Okay, so this is called your library cache hit. Library, or simply we say the cache hit. Cache hit. This is important. They will ask in the interviews, what is cache hit? That means if you are running a query, that execution plan is already there in the library cache. So this is called your cache hit, or we say as a soft parsing. Soft parse. And suppose I'm running a query and I'm not able to get the parsing information in the library cache. So that is called a hard parse. Hard parse or cache miss. Okay.
What is it? What is it? Hard parse?
Hard parse means suppose I run the query.
Muted.
Now what I'm saying, okay, what is hard parse? Suppose I run the query, select staff from EMP and where employee number equal to 100. So what it will do, first it will check for the parsing information and the execution plan in the shared pool, in the library cache. So it will check whether if the execution plan is already there in the library cache. That means it is called your cache hit
Or soft parse.
or soft parse. If it is not there, then it need to create a new execution plan, right?
Yep.
And it will put in the library cache. So if it is not there already, then it is called your hard parse and cache miss.
Yes. Okay.
So this is your library cache. Dictionary cache is nothing but it will store your all database objects. I'm sorry for spelling mistakes.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine.
So here, what I was saying, it will store your all database objects information. What all objects are there in the form of views. You know what is view?
View.
Huh?
View.
Views is a SQL object. You need to learn SQL. If you just Google it, what is view after that class will be. View is nothing but it's a saved query which will hold the information of your objects.
Okay.
So in dictionary cache, what happens here? Our database will store all your object information in the form of views. There will be hundreds of views, more than hundreds of views are there in database object. So whenever we need to get any information, I will go through the views, I will get the information. So dictionary cache holds the information about your database objects.
Okay.
Okay. So this is your shared pool.
Okay. And the difference between the library cache and dictionary cache is library cache holds the already done queries.
Execution plan. Yeah. You can say as a library cache will hold the parsing information, SQL execution plans. Let's say if you have a PL SQL objects, you compile it, that also will hold this. Library cache will hold all this information.
Okay.
Data dictionary cache will hold the information about objects.
Okay.
Like you created a table, right? You
Yes.
have created a table. So database should know that table is existing. So it will hold that information in form of view. There is a view called db underscore table. I will query that view. I can see, okay, one table is there.
Okay.
That information will be stored in the shared pool. So these are the three main components. One is database buffer cache, one is a redo log buffer, then we have the shared pool. Are you noting down everything, right?
Yes.
Good. Then next is we have Java pool, stream pool, and one more was there. Java pool, stream pool, and
Large pool.
yeah, large pool, correct. Now these are the optional area. Whenever it is required, then only it will be used. Like for example, Java pool. When it is used, whenever you're using whenever you're running some Java specific code, then only Java pool will be used. Then stream pools. Whenever you're doing stream operation, then stream pool will be used. Large pool, whenever we need some contiguous memory, like large continuous memory, then we'll be using large pool. Like for example, RMN operation. RMN means what? Like backup and recovery. Whenever we perform backup and recovery, RMN is a tool with this utility with which we perform the backup and recovery. So whenever we use RMN, our large pool will be used. So these are the three optional pools. So this is it clear, the memory structure?
Yep.
Sorry.
Yes, it's clear.
So
And
this was
the RMN means is the tool recovery manager.
yeah. This is recovery manager. When we use the backup and recovery, then only it will be used.
Okay.
Then PGA. Now what is PGA? That was SGA, right?
Yeah.
Now what is PGA? PGA is nothing but programmer global area. Programmer global area. So what is the use of PGA? Let's suppose now this is your SGA and this is your database file, and this is your, here I have one user who is accessing something from here. Now when a user will be giving some query, select star from EMP or create table or insert something, or you'll be using some bind variable, anything. So whenever a user create a request here suppose user fired a query, select star from EMP where EMP number equal to 100. So here one process will be there, client process. We'll term as a client process. Client process. A client process will be there. It will take the request to here, to the server. So here I have my server process, which will listen the request. Server process. Client process will take the request from the user. User have fired some query. Client process will go here and it will go to the server process. Now what is the user server process? It will check. What is the first thing it will check? Whether this it will go in the shared pool, whether the parsing information is stored in the shared pool or not. If it is not there, it will create the parsing information. It will create the execution plan. Fine. Then it will check in the database buffer cache. It will check whether the required data blocks are there in the database buffer cache or not. If it is not there, then server process only will go from the database buffer cache to the physical file, that means your data files. Then from here it will copy the data blocks and it will put in the database buffer cache. Fine. And from here it will return it to the server process, and then server process hand over it to the client process. So this is
So it
how
won't go to the shared pool.
no. First it will go in the shared pool only. See, I had here, right? This is your database buffer cache,
Yeah.
suppose,
Got it.
and this is your shared pool, and
Shared
the
pool.
redo log already will be there somewhere.
Yeah.
So I executed one query. So first it will check where in the shared pool whether
Shared
the
pool. Yeah.
execution plan is there or not.
If not,
Whether the execution plan is, if it is not there, it will recreate the execution plan and it will check for the particular modified data whether it is there in the database buffer cache or not. If it is not there, then it will go here. It will, from the data files, it will copy that particular block and it will put in the database buffer cache, and then it will hand over to the server process, and the server process give it to the client process.
okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so see here, what is the main point to notice here in the interview, or if you go in the some written question, they will ask you what is the process which copy data from the data files to the database buffer cache. So it's who? It's server process. Following. This is
Yes.
your data file. Here we have data files. This is your data files. From data files, who is the copying blocks to the database buffer cache? Is server process.
Server process.
And who is copying from database buffer cache to data file? Remember yesterday I told DW?
Oh, DWB, DBWR.
Yeah, DB.
Database, right? WR.
So database, there are two different things. People always get confused here. So what is the use of DBWR? It will copy from the database buffer cache to data files. And from data file to buffer cache server process. Okay.
Okay.
So whenever a client requests, so client is also, whenever a server process comes here, server process creates a PGA here. This is your PGA. Programmer global area. What is the use of this area? Here it is not shared by any other process. For a separate server process, a separate PGA will be there. Whenever a server process will start, it will start a new PGA. What is the use of PGA? Because user will be using some bind variable to hold the session specific information, the user information, PGA will be used. Okay. Like user is running some query, he is using some bind variable. So what is the value of that bind variable? It will be stored in the PGA. What is the user's information, session specific information? All these things will be stored in the PGA. Okay. So for each user, a different PGA will be there for each and every user. Suppose a new user also doing a request here. This is a new user who is doing a request. So for him also different PGA will be there and different server process will be there.
Okay.
So for each and every
query
user,
will have different server
not
process.
query, for each user.
Okay, each user. Okay.
For each user, this user can do any number of query.
Yeah.
Now this user can perform any number of query. The same process will run here. Here, when you are any number of users are there, for let's say 10 users are there, then 10 PGA will be allocated, 10 server process and 10 PGA will be allocated at that time. Okay. So this is the use of your PGA. So this was your process structure. Now memory structure. Now we'll see the physical files first, then we'll see the other things. First we'll see the physical files. So what is physical files here? The first physical files is your data file. Right here. Data file. So what is data file? Every Oracle database has one or more than physical data file. Data files will actually files where your data will be stored. I'm creating a table, I'm inserting some records, I'm updating some value. So that will go inside this data files. For each and every information will be stored in the data files. It will be physically stored on your disk. We can see this data files.
Okay.
So this is the first kind of file, your data files, where actually data will be stored. Usually what is the location? Typically location will be like there, U0 app Oracle, then Ora data, and then the name of your database. Like I will show you where after installing we can see the data file location. If you go inside this location, you can see your data files, all your data files.
Okay.
The second type of file is your temp file. Now, what is the use of temp files? This is a special class of data file that are associated with the only temporary table space. I will talk about what is table space later. Temporary files means to hold the temporary objects.
Okay.
Like when we need temporary space, right? So at that time we use temporary data files. So this is a data file only, but special class of data files to hold a temporary objects. Then third kind of file is our control files. This is a very important file, control file. What is the use of control file? Is the root file of your database, which will find the all other files used by your database. For example, where is your data file, where is your temp file, where is your redo log files. It will hold the all information about your database. What is the name of your database, what is the current state of your database. Each and every information will be stored in the control file. So that is why this is the root file of your database. This is very important file. If this file gets corrupt, your database will not open.
Okay.
So because this is holding information, because how Oracle will know where is your data file. So this location will be defined in the control file. So now Oracle will come to know, okay, here is my data file. Where is your temp file? That will be stored in the control file. Where is the redo log files? It will be stored in the control files. What is the name of your database? What is the size of your database block? Every information will be stored in your control files. So this is the root file and very important file. That is why what we do, we multiplex the control file. What is multiplexing? When we create Oracle database, we keep a copy of this file to the multiple location. That is called a multiplexing. So that suppose one file gets corrupt, other file will be there for the database. If the both files gets corrupt, that's all. Your database will not start. Okay.
Okay.
So this is your use of control file. Next is your online redo log files. I told you about online redo log. What is the use of online redo log files? To hold the data from the redo buffers.
Redo log, yep.
From the redo buffers, the things will be stored in the redo log file. So Oracle recommends that minimum 2 log files should be there. Minimum 2. So why we need minimum 2 log files? Because a switch should be happen, right? Log switch.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
When one
So
file is get filled, another it will switch to
other
another file.
Yeah, switch to another file. So that's Oracle recommends minimum 2, or we can have more than 2 also, no problem. So it will be as a redo log of the database. So what is the use of redo? It will record the redo entries. What is redo entries? The same thing. From the redo log buffers, whatever modifications we have done, that is called as your redo entry. So it will record all your redo entries. Then fifth file is your password file. So password file is used to authenticate users who is performing some administrative task over the network. Like let's suppose the database is running on my network and I'm connecting remotely to the database. Then I need this password file. That means my username and password should be there in this password file. Then only I can use this. Usually, what will be the location of this? U01 app Oracle product 11.2.0 DB home _1 and DBS, or in short form we can say as a Oracle home DBS. So when someone asks what is the location of password file, you will say in Oracle home. In Oracle home there will be a directory called DBS. Inside this you'll find the password file. And what is Oracle home? We define the Oracle home here. So Oracle home means where our Oracle binaries will be stored, where our Oracle software will be installed. That we term as a Oracle home. So in this location by default we install our Oracle software. So this is the full path. So this we term as a Oracle home. in this path you'll find your password file. And what is the use of password file? To authenticate users who is performing administrative activities over the network. Okay. Then is your archived redo log files.
Yep.
What is the use of archived redo log files?
When online redo log files get filled, it will be returned to archive redo log file.
Exactly, good. So whenever archiving is enabled, again there are two things. Whether we need to check whether archiving is enabled or not. If archiving is enabled, then whenever online redo log gets filled, what it does, it will copy it will flush all the data into the archive redo log files. If archiving log is enabled, if it is not enabled, what it does, it will keep on overriding the data.
Okay.
So usually our production server will be always in the archive redo log mode. Like archiving will be enabled, so we'll get the archive logs. If you talk about test servers in our environment, like if you work in real time as a DBA, there will be one production server. For production server, will be having some two development machine or maybe two test machines will be there. Why we use test machine? Before deploying anything on the production machine, we use on the test machine. We'll test it on the test machine. Test machine means whatever database will be running on the production server, that it will be replica of your production server on the test machine. So whatever, suppose I'm applying new patch, I'm updating the database or anything. So first I will do on the test machine. If it is working fine, if everything is done, then only I will forward the changes to the production machine. So our production machine will be always in the archive log mode, and test machine we don't need archive.
Okay.
So this is your archive log. Then we have another file, parameters file. Yes, parameter files. So there are two types of parameter file. One is called your P file, another is called your SP file. So what is the use of parameter file? Whenever Oracle will start, as I told you, we dedicatedly allocate some memory to Oracle database, right? How to allocate some dedicatedly memory in this file? In parameter file, I will define all the all the database parameter. What all settings are required? You can say as a what settings of your database. What all settings are required for my database, like how much RAM I should dedicatedly allocate to RAM, what will be my data format, where is the control file location, then what will be the name of my database, what will be the database block size, each and every information I will specify in my parameter file. So there are two types of parameter file. One is P file and one is SP file. So what is the use of P file? This is your text based file. That means I can modify this file, text based file. SP file is your binary file, Purpose of both files is same. Either you can use P file, either you can use SP file. But if you are using SP file, you cannot modify anything. Suppose you need to change your database name, maybe you want to change some processes, how many processes are there, we need to modify the processes. So you cannot change SP file because this is a binary file. So what we need to do, I will change my P file, because P file is your text based file. So I can open in VI editor, I will make any modification, then I will save it, and then I will create my SP file from the P file. So whatever changes I have made in P file, that will be reflected in the SP file.
Okay.
Following?
From can we change from SP file to P file? No.
No. What we can do, from SP file you can create a P file. But if you talk about modification, let's suppose you want to change the location of control file. So control file information, where it is control file, the path of control file will be stored in the SP file or in this paraprinter file. So but SP file you cannot edit it because this is a binary file. So what you will do, you will create a P file from the SP file. We will use a command create, we'll use a command create P file from SP file. So it will create a P file there. Now P file is your text-based parameter. So what all parameters will be there in SP file? It will be there in the P file also. I will open this file and then I will edit it and I will save this. After saving, I can say create SP file from P file. So now whatever things will be there in the P file, it will be there in the SP file. Okay.
Okay. You can
So
create both files from each other, but you can only do modifications in P file.
exactly. Then suppose this parameter file we have. So who will get the priority? SP file will get the priority. Okay. Whenever both parameter files are there, because it will read only one parameter file. So which one to read? So if the both files are there, so Oracle will always read your SP file.
SP file.
Even we can force user, force Oracle to read the P file also, but by default it will always read your SP file. If SP file is not there, then it will read your P file. If both is not there, then Oracle will not at all start. It will throw error. Okay. And what is the location? Again same. Oracle Home DBS. In this Oracle Home, I will go in Oracle Home and in the DBS folder, we will see this information. Till here is clear?
Yep, it's clear.
So this is your physical files. Now, when we talk about the storage, we have two kinds of storage we have. One is called, this is your physical structure. One is called logical storage. One is called your physical storage. Physical we have here. Then why do we need logical storage? For example, you are creating a table. So where it will be stored in your data files, right?
Yes.
Now, if you need to check what is the size of your table, how will you check? Because data files will be a physical file that will be stored on your operating system. You cannot check. You can check the whole size of your data file.
Okay.
Right, but you cannot check inside the data file. There is some table. You cannot check what is the size of that data file, that table or that object, right? So that is why we have some logical structure also. Now we'll say some logical storage. Logical storage. The first is here we have a block. We talk about logical storage structure. Then we have here blocks. What is the block? This is the finest level of granularity. That means this is the where our data will be stored in the form of blocks. It will Oracle allocate continuous blocks to store your data. You are creating some, let's suppose you are creating some table. So Oracle it will allocate some blocks to hold that table information. We are updating or inserting something. So we need some space. So what Oracle does, it will create some blocks and will allocate to the table so that I can insert the data. So this is the finest granular level of. Before after that we don't have anything. So this is starting of the storage option. So this is your block. So what is the size of blocks? Usually it will be 2 KB or it can be 4 KB or it can be 8 KB or 16 KB. Now depends on us what will be the size of our database block.
Okay. What would be the maximum size?
16 block.
16.
BLOC. Size. So this is the parameter which we define while we creating our database. So this parameter, where we define this parameter in P file. So this parameter will be there in your P file. It will define what will be your database block size. Usually it should be our OS block size. In OS also everything is stored in the form of blocks. So what we'll do, we check our OS block size. What is the OS block size? If it is 8 KB or 4 KB, so we create our database with the same block size 4 KB. So usually if you by default, if you check, it will be with the 8 KB.
Okay.
So this is your database block. These are the 4 common sizes you will see. Any database will be there in this format.
Okay.
Then next is your extents. So what is extend? Continuous data blocks. This is your certification question actually. logical storage. So what is extent here? Extent is nothing but continuous data blocks. When we have, let's say I have 4 KB of blocks. This is 4 KB of blocks. One 4 KB, then one more 4 KB, then one more 4 KB, then one more 4 KB, like this. And together, this together we say as a extent. If you talk about from here to here, this is called your extent. EXTENT. This is called your extent. And one more extent here I'll put. And one more extent I will put like this. And together it is called your segment. From here to here, it is called as a segment. That means this is your block. Extent is made of some block, and segment is made up of your extent. So continuous allocation of data blocks is called your extent. Then allocation of extents is called your segments. So whenever we create now any object in Oracle, let's say I'm creating any object or table I'm inserting any object. So what Oracle does, it allocates some segment only. So when I'm saying that it's allocating some segment, that means it's allocating some extent information. Some extent will be allocating to the that particular table, so that we can store our object there. So these are the 3 granules here. The first block, then we have extent, then we have segment. And before block also it will come like OS block. Here you can mention as a OS block. OS block, then it will be your DB block, like that. So in your certification there will be one question: what is the priority order? Like what is the order in which the blocks are stored? So first OS block, then DB block, then extent, then segment. Okay. The next logical structure is your table space. The next logical structure is your table space. Yeah. Then I have here segment, then table space. Now what is table space? Table space is again a logical structure. It is divided. Your full database is divided into the logical storage unit, which is called user table space. Table space is nothing but container for a segment. Container for the segment. This segment will be contained where? In the table space. Each of table space will contain one data file. One or more data file. One or more data file. So whenever we create any object, that object will go into the table space. And what is table space? That will be made up of some data files. What is data files? Data files will be made up of some segments. What is segment? Segment will be made up of some extents, and extents will be made up of blocks. See, there are some all related hierarchy you need to find. What is table space? Actually, whenever we create a table or whenever we create any object, that will go into the table space. What is table space? Table space is having some logical structure which will be having one or more data files. In data files means we need some space. The space is allocated in the form of segment. What is segment? Segment, continuous location of extent. What is extent? Continuous location of your data blocks.
Okay.
Following?
Yep.
Now consider this is your table space. Okay, and in this table space I said there can be one or more than one data file. So let's suppose I have one data file here and I have one more data file here. Okay, so where I said, so this will be containing some segments. So each segment will be located here, segment here, segment here, segment here, and segments. So this is all your segments. So these segments cannot cross the data file boundaries. That means in a segment cannot this. What is the use of segment? Segment will be storing the actual data. So segment cannot cross the data file boundary. In this one data file, the segments will be there. Let's suppose now I'm creating a table. So where I will create table will be located in the segment only. So let's suppose this is my table can cross the data file boundary. That means one table can belong to the two data file, but one segment cannot belong to the two data files. Following what I'm saying here?
Yep.
This is your table.
Yep.
This is your table and this is your segment. So here segment cannot cross the boundary of data file, but a table can belong to the two data files. Okay. What is data file again? Just repeating, data file is nothing but this is a logical structure. Data file contains minimum one data file. Sorry, table space contains minimum one data file. A table space cannot exist without data file. So one data file must be there for this table space. So it will contain the actual data. It will be containing with the segment. So segment cannot cross the boundary of the data files, but objects, not only table, any kind of object, they can cross the boundary of data files, but they will be belonging to the same table space.
And what exactly mean by objects?
Objects means anything, don't confuse with this. Objects means whatever. Here I will write table as object, view object, synonym object, cursor object, index is object. Everything whatever we do in Oracle we create with anything you do with create statement. What is the use of create? Create is a DDL, right? So you do create table. That means you are creating an object. What kind of object you are creating? Table. Then we say
Table.
create view. So what is view? View is an object. Then we say create index. So what we are creating? We are creating objects. What is the object type? Index type. What is the object type? View type. What is the object type? Table types. So these are called objects. Okay. So this is your storage structure. Then we'll see our process structure. Now if we talk about process structure of Oracle, then there are three kinds of processes. One is client process. What is client process? Client process nothing but which will run on the client. Like for example, when we use any client to connect with the Oracle database, for example, we have Toad, SQL Developer, anything. So as I told you, client process will go to the server process, right? So in our SQL Developer, suppose you know SQL Developer?
Yeah.
So this is a client. So where we are typing our commands, let's say I'm typing select star from EMP and we are running the code, right? So that client process will be running on our local system, which will send the request to the server process. So this will be a software which we are running on our local system. The next is your background process. Background process. So what is the background process? As I told you in the first class, like there will be some processes helping us to carry data from here to there, right? The same thing here also. Here we have some background process. This will perform some various activities. Depends on the their task. There are different types of background process which we are going to learn further. like database buffer cache, log writer. These are all background processes. We'll learn after some time. Then third is your server process. As I told you, what is the use of server
Yep.
process, right? So three
Yes.
kinds of
Yes.
processes are there: client process, background process, and server process. Now let's explore about your background process. In background processes, the first background process is our DBWR. DBWN, DBWN. We represent as like this. So that means this is your database writer.
Okay.
So you know what is the use of this,
Yep.
right? So what is the use
Yes.
of it? Whenever what is
It,
it will copy the contents from the database buffer cache to the data files. So when it
yep.
does,
Data files too.
hmm, so when it does this task, it's not doing already. This is called lazy write. Lazy write means whenever it's not able to find the free blocks so that it can accommodate new blocks there, then only it will flush the dirty blocks to the data files. Following.
Okay.
And server
Yep.
process cannot find a clean reusable buffer. Like if it is all dirty, you know what is dirty blocks, right? Any
Yep.
modified
Yep.
blocks will be a dirty block. It's not able to find any clean buffer. Everything is dirty buffer. Then
Yep.
only it will flush the data from the database buffer cache to the data file.
Yep.
Then next is your LGWR. LGWR. That means this is your log writer.
Log
As
writer.
the name says, log writer. That means
Yep. It will
it
write
will write
for.
redo entries to the disk. Whatever redo
Yep.
entries. When I'm saying redo entries means from the data from the redo log buffer to the redo logs.
Online redo logs.
Yeah, online redo log. So, so what is the criteria? This is the interview question. They may ask you, what is the criteria? When does this log writer writes all redo entry to the online redo log? So there are some criteria when it does here. The first criteria, whenever user do commit. You know commit, right?
Yep.
This is equal to save our transactions. So whenever user do commit a transaction, that time log writer writes from the redo log buffer to the online redo log. Okay.
Yep.
Then second, whenever
Log switch
log switch
happens.
happen, then also it will write the from the redo log buffer to there. Then every 3 seconds, it will write.
Okay.
Then fourth, whenever redo buffer is filled, is 1/3 filled.
Okay.
Whenever redo buffer is 1/3 is filled, or
Okay.
having 1 MB of data, then it will flush the buffer from there. So these are the different criterias. Maybe you can
Okay.
make as a fifth one. So whenever any of these conditions occurs, it will perform the log flush. What is DB flush and log flush? I told you, right? DB flush means
Yep.
from the buffer cache to data file. Log flush means log buffer to online
Online
redo
redo
logs.
logs too.
The next process is checkpoint process. Now, what is the checkpoint process? Is update the control files and data files header with checkpoint information. Checkpoint information. What is checkpoint information? That means it will update the SCN system change number. SCN. I'll explain what is this. Suppose this is my data file. I have my data file here, one data file, two data file, let's say two data file only, and here I have my control file. So I said it will update the header of the control file. Whenever we do any kind of operation, whenever we do commit, so it will update the headers of data file and your control file with the checkpoint information. What is checkpoint information? That is called a SCN. We call it as a system change number. What is SCA? There is some particular value. For example, let's say for current here, our user is doing some transaction here. So it will be recorded in the redo log buffer. User is doing any kind of transaction, so this will be recorded in the redo log buffer. Each and every entry will be recorded in the redo log buffer, and things will be, and from the database buffer cache, things will be going into the data files. So whenever things will go into the data files, what happens here, it will keep on updating the header of our data file with the SCN change number. So this is some digit which will be frequently updating in our data file. Suppose here I have right now SCN 501. So here also in this data file also we'll be having 501. So whenever, what is the use of checkpoint? It will frequently check what is the sequence, I mean SCN number in the header of data file. The same information it will update into the control file also. So here also it will put the 501. So to make our database up and running, this should be in the sync. Data file header and the control file header, the checkpoint information should be the same. So that is the use of our SCN, this checkpoint process. The process name is CKPT. CKPT. So what it does, it update the control file and data file headers with the checkpoint information. Whenever a checkpoint happens, whenever we do a checkpoint, I mean when we make database in the consistent state means whenever I say consistent means the header of both control file and the data file should be the same. The SCN number should be the same. If it is not same, suppose I have here some other information. Right now here SCN is 508, and in this data file also 508 here, and here due to any reason, before updating here in the control file, due to any reason our database will a database crashed due to any reason.
Okay.
Maybe some hardware failure or power failure, our database got crashed. Now the SCN information is not updated by CKPT process in the both. CKPT process couldn't do any update in the control file here. So what happened here? Here I have 508 and here I have 501 only. Now what will happen here? Now here instance recovery will happen. Here in this case instance. So this process is called your instance recovery. INST. This process is called your instance recovery. What is instance recovery? Nothing but whenever our headers or data file headers and control file headers is not matching with the correct SCN or checkpoint information, instance recovery will happen. Instance recovery is nothing. Oracle will perform this instance recovery automatically. We don't need to do. Whenever we start the database, it will perform the instance recovery. So what is instance recovery? It will update the headers of the both files with the same checkpoint information. Okay? Hello, are you there?
Yeah.
Is it okay with you?
Yeah. I'm getting.
Okay. If you're not getting, just let me know then.
No.
The fourth is a small. These are all mandatory background process. Without this, your database will not run. So first is database writer, log writer, then CKPT, then we have SMON process. SMON means
Background.
System monitor. System monitor. As the name says, system monitor. This is the guard of all process, which monitors your all processes. Whenever some process need the help of SMON process, SMON help them to their particular need. Then
Okay.
what is the other need of instance recovery? Who performs this instance recovery? This is the guy who has performed the instance recovery.
Okay.
Instance recovery. So when it will be performed, whenever the headers will be not updated, database will perform instance recovery. Instance recovery will be performed by S1 process. Then clearing the temporary segment. Temporary segment is whenever we need to
Temporary.
clear the temporary space, S1 will be responsible for this.
Okay.
The next is your P1 process. Process monitor. Now what is the use of P1 process? Let's suppose
Process.
a user is connected to Oracle database, and due to any reason he got disconnected from the database. So the PMON is responsible for cleaning the database buffer cache and the freeing the resources that the client process were using. Because whenever a client will be connected, a user or client means same. A user will be connected to the database. The client process will be associated with that. It will be using some system resources, database resources, right? And it will be using some database logs and all. Then it will be using database buffer cache, and due to any reason it got failed, connection issue, or he disconnected. So the PMON is the cleaning process. It will perform the cleanup task. It will free the all resources, whatever the client process we are using. It will clean our database buffer cache. If any transactions having a log, it will release the log. It will remove the process ID, whatever is there. It will clean all the tasks used by that user. Okay.
Okay.
So these are the 5 mandatory background processes.
Okay.
Then the next process is ARCN. ARCN. This is called ARCHIVER, archiver. This is the optional. Whenever you enable the archiving process, then only this process will be enabled.
Okay.
So what is the use of this process? As I told you, from the online redo logs, things will go into the archive redo log, right?
Archiving.
So
Yes.
who will copy the contents? This is the guy. This is a process who will copy the things from the online redo logs to the archive logs.
Okay.
Don't get confused. I know this is a bit confusing, but get this thing
Yeah.
very clear. From redo log buffer
Sure.
to online redo log. Who is the guy? Log
Yeah.
writer. Right?
Log writer. Yeah.
And from online redo logs to the archive logs, this is the process, archiver
Archiver.
process, ARCN. So by default 4 process will be there. Max we can give 30 process. Max 30 process can be started whenever our Oracle database will start. By default there will be 4 archiver process, a max 30 process will be there. Okay. So this was all about your architecture of your database. I will send you some document also regarding this. Whatever we have learned, some PDF will be there. I will send you in detail. You can read through the document. Whatever I have taught you, it will be there in that document. Okay.
All right. Okay.
Now we'll see how to install Oracle. So first, Oracle will be we can install on the Windows platform, or we can install on the Unix system. So usually mostly 90% industry using Unix platform only for the Oracle database. So here for installing Oracle we will be using Oracle Linux. Oracle Linux 5.7 version will be using for our installation of our database. So first what we need to do, first we need to install the Oracle Linux.
Okay.
What is Oracle? What is Oracle Linux? This is nothing but, you might have heard about Red Hat, right?
Yeah.
So Oracle Linux is customized with the Red Hat only.
Okay.
they have customized this Red Hat in such a way that will be good for your Oracle database. This is compatible for Oracle database. Even you can install this Oracle Linux on Red Hat platform only, but it is good to install on Oracle Linux because we are, before installing Oracle, we need to perform a lot of prerequisite tasks. So this is good in Oracle Linux. We have all the RPMs related, we can install very easily in Oracle Linux. So the first thing, first install your Oracle Linux, then download the Oracle software. So from where to download? Maybe you can go to the eDelivery, edelivery.oracle.com. Just sign in here.
Okay.
I will show where is the exactly is the software and what software you need to download. So you need to create one account in Oracle. After creating, you can log in. So it will ask for, just select this both side and just say continue. All Oracle softwares are free. Here you can download, everything will be there. See, it's asking a product pet. So here search for Oracle database. Here you go, Oracle database, and see, select a platform. On which platform you want to download. See, you have a lot of information. So here we'll go for the Linux 60. If it is a 32-bit, use this. If you have 64-bit machine, use 64-bit. Go. So now a lot of versions are here. Now we need to search for 11.2. In this industry, we are using right now 11.2. 12C is also launched. Right now we are using 11G R2. So here you need to search for 11G. Yeah, here you go. See here, Oracle database 11G release 2. Just click on this.
Yep.
Again you will get lot of. So in this particular, I will tell you which one to download. There will be two files which you need to download. This is client. Here you go. These two files. See, Oracle database 11G release 2, part 1 of 2 and part 2 of 2. So this will be for Oracle database. So both you need to download. It will be one zip file. You need to unzip it. Once you will unzip, you will get one folder called database.
Okay.
Now you need to transfer this file to your Oracle box, Oracle Linux box.
Okay.
So what is this thing? Once you will download your VM, as I told you, you will be given some softwares. After this, you need to download the VM. So just download everything, extract everything. You'll get some folder, something like this. Here some folder will be there, Oracle database, something like this. Somewhere size will be there, 15 or 18 GB will be their size. Okay. So what do you need to do here now? Open a virtual machine. Okay. Then navigate to that folder where it is stored. I have it here. So let me check the size here. GB and this one 16 GB. Fine. So navigate to that folder. See, this was my folder here. Just select this and click on open. So it will come here like this. Now go to the edit virtual machine here.
Okay.
So here you can allocate RAM and other options. Like say I have allocated 8 processors because I have 8 processors here. Now depend on your system, what kind of system you have, you need to allocate some processors here. Then memory, right now I have 8 GB RAM. So out of 8 GB RAM, I am giving 4.7 GB to this. And then click on OK. And then play the virtual machine. Okay. Just click on OK, click on. So it will automatically start your Oracle Linux. At what time do you go for college in the morning?
No, actually I finished today. I had a presentation, so
Oh,
I've been to the college.
actually, because tomorrow morning I won't be available because I got a night shift. So tomorrow morning I won't
Oh,
be
okay.
available. So is it possible like tomorrow evening I can take class for you?
Anytime,
So,
anytime. Just let me know the timings.
oh, okay, that will be great. I will check with these guys so they can start the meeting because tomorrow, if any time is fine for you, right? You'll be free, right?
Yeah. But in the evening means for us
I
it's morning, right?
It's
So
morning, yeah,
just
morning.
for me, yeah, for me in our timings for morning 6:37, 7 is fine.
7 is fine, right?
Yeah,
Okay, okay, fine. I will check with these guys.
yeah.
They will inform you.
Okay.
Here you go. She's asking for login. So Oracle. I think today we cannot cover the installation. So I will show you the our all the data file structure, whatever I have told you. I'll show you. Here I have one database I think installed up and running. How to connect with database? SQL plus S sysdba.
Is it the same way in real time as well?
Exactly same.
Okay.
So first let me show you the our data files, physical data files. So I have installed here. So Oracle, then Ora data, ORCL, and ls minus l. See here, these all your data files. This is your redo log files. Redo 0. I
Yeah.
have 3 redo log files. So redo 01, redo 02, and redo 03 is there. Then
We can see it by
sysops.
extensions.
You can identify by extension. Actually in Unix there is no extension, but we gave so that we can recognize it. So this is
Okay.
reduce 01 log. So this is your log files. .dbf means this is your
Data
data
files.
files. This is data files. So how many data files I have here? 1, 2, 3, 4,
2,
5,
3,
and
4,
6.
6.
And see, I have one control file also here. Correct?
Yeah. And one temp
So
file. Oh no, that's
temporary is also there. See here, temp is also there. A temporary
yeah.
data file. Okay? And one control file. So as I told you, control file will be multiplexed. That means it will be there on the some other location also. So I think
Okay.
here I have one more log. Oracle. No, right now it's not multiplexed. Fine, no problem. So I have only right now one control file. Then our password file and parameter file. So I told you where it will be my password file. What is the location of Oracle home?
DBS.
Oracle home and DBS. Let's go to this file. Check. See, sp file orcl.ora. Right now I don't have any init file.
Yeah.
Right now I don't have any p file. Only I have only sp
Yeah.
file I have.
Yeah.
And
If you want, you can
Aura
create one file from
yeah, I
SP.
will show you how to create. I will create just now. So Aura pworcl. This is your password file.
Okay.
This is your password file. This is your sp file. I don't have any p file. So let me start my database. SQL plus s sysdba. This means I'm connecting as an admin user. This forward slash and sysdba is a privilege. And that means I'm connecting as an admin user. Because only admin user can start the database.
Okay. Are all these commands case sensitive?
Yes, Unix commands are case sensitive. If you give SQL plus in caps letter, it won't work.
Okay.
So it's saying connected to ideal instance. So what we do here, we give startup to start our database. So when we give startup, it will read our parameter file. Right now, what parameter file I have? Only SP file. So it will read the SP file first. It's taking time. This is okay. I had a mistake. Wait.
Okay.
This is my Oracle home. So I need to tell where it is. Oracle home equal to this. Export Oracle base. Don't worry about all these commands. I will tell you when we'll install Oracle.
Okay.
I'm just showing how where is my files and how things works here. Still is taking U01 app Oracle. You know the Unix commands, right?
Yeah.
That at least VI and all those things.
Yeah, VI is editor, right?
Yeah. Oracle. It's getting hang. P1 and R2. Oh, something wrong with this server. Tomorrow we'll see then.
Okay.
No, something is wrong. It's not hanging. I will check it before starting. System is hang.
Okay, it's fine.
Uh, One more try. Got time. We'll see tomorrow then, yeah?
Oh, okay, okay.
So by the time you do one thing, you make it ready, you will get some zip files after downloading. So unzip all
Okay,
files in the same folder. You don't unzip in the different folder. You can create
okay,
one folder and you extract all files in the same folders, and you install
got it.
the VM player also, so that we can start the installation parallelly. When you
Okay,
can do parallelly, even I will do that parallelly. And if we
okay.
have an issue, we'll troubleshoot also. You have TeamViewer.
Yeah, I have. Oh, yeah, I have.
So do one thing, install TeamViewer also, so that if you face any issue,
Yeah,
so I
I
can
have.
directly log in and I can check what is the issue there. Huh?
Yep, yep, yes.
Okay, fine. And give me your mail ID. I'll send you some document to read.
Okay, it is Rajesh dot
Rajesh dot
G A N
J
G A N
Gan,
G O N E
right?
05
05
at
100
Gmail.
gmail.com. Okay, fine, Rajesh. I will send you some documents to read it here.
Okay,
So whatever we have learned, and for next class also there will be some documents, so you can read it through this.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, just forward the documents. I'll go through them.
Sure, sure, fine. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you, Harsh.
Bye bye.
Bye bye. Have a good day.
Bye.